from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The Embassy of South Sudan in Washington, D.C. has cautioned South Sudanese there against unnecessary travels as the United States government has not reversed its decision to revoke visas for South Sudanese passport holders. The SPLM-IO says its members fled Juba due to fear of persecutions and crackdown by security organs, adding they are not running or walking away out of the unity government. And health authorities in the Pibod administrative area have today launched an oral cholera vaccination campaign following a week-long delay due to logistical challenges. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Darlington Moses, and now the news in detail. The Embassy of South Sudan in Washington, D.C. has cautioned South Sudanese there against unnecessary travels as the United States government has not reversed its decision to revoke visas for South Sudanese passport holders. This follows recent development related to visa policy concerns, including the case of Congolese holder of South Sudanese travel document Kintu Makula, where the U.S. revoked visas to all South Sudanese passport holders. In a statement posted on its official platform on 13th April, the embassy said although the government of South Sudan has fully cooperated with the U.S. authorities and also addressed the issues that led to the initial decision, the visa revocations remains in effect until further notice. South Sudanese nationals resides in the U.S. are advised that they can legally remain in the country under their current immigration status. However, those who leave the U.S. will not be able to return using a revoked visa. The embassy further stated that new visas, applications or renewals are likely to be denied while the revocations remains in place. South Sudanese citizens have been urged to avoid unnecessary international travel until the U.S. government issues an official update. The statement also noted that individuals under temporary protected status currently do not have a clear pathway to regularize their immigration status. The embassy says it is engaging with U.S. officials to reverse the decisions and resume normal visa services for South Sudanese citizens. Those in need of urgent assistance or clarifications have been encouraged to contact the embassy through its official communication channel. The SPLM-IO says its members fled Juba due to fear of persecutions and crackdown by security organs, adding that they did not walk away of the unity government. Last month, the Minister of Information, Communication Technology and Postal Services stated that the first Deputy Speaker of the National Parliament fled Juba to Uganda, while several other senior SPLM-IO officials vanished to undisclosed locations within South Sudan after learning of an impending arrest. Among those who disappeared were General Ye Dak from the National Security, General Wilson Walebe from the SSPDF, and Minister of Water Palmai Deng. McQuay explained that these individuals vanished after realizing that movement had been discovered. However, the SPLM-IO refuted this statement. Its spokespersons and chairpersons of the National Committee for Information and Communication, Palmai Deng, described it as baseless and a propaganda from the SPLM in government and its allies. He said their aim is to abrogate the peace deal through the appointment of the SPLM-IG members and the SPLM-IO defectors to national and state positions meant for the SPLM-IO based on the power-sharing agreement. The SPLM-IO further reiterated its commitment to the full implementation of the revitalized agreement in letter and spirit. The group also called upon other parties signatories to the peace deal to commit themselves to its implementation. The opposition said it is committed to dialogue as the only means to resolving challenges facing the implementations and violations of the Peace Pact. It went on to call for unconditional release of Dr. Riek Machar, the first vice president, and other political and military detainees, and the unconditional withdrawal of all foreign troops from the territory of South Sudan. Health authorities in the Pibor administrative area have today launched an oral cholera vaccination campaign following a week-long delay due to logistical challenges. This is according to Greater Pibor Information Minister Nyigenga Okano Kiro. The vaccination targets individuals aged 1 year and above and will cover key locations across Pibor, including Pibor Municipality, Greater Likwangale, and Gumuruk in Jebel Buma. The Pibor spokesperson says the vaccines had arrived nearly a week ago but were delayed due to poor road access and coordination challenges among government and humanitarian partners. He says despite a recent drop in reported cases at major health centers in Pibor town, remote areas and cattle camps remain unreachable, with some cases still being reported from those locations. Minister Kiro added that the campaign comes amid a devastating cholera outbreak that began on March 13th. He spoke to iRadio this morning.
So regarding the target, I think that it will start from 1 year above. So this is the target population that will be vaccinated. So regarding the coverage, the vaccine will cover most part of the starting from Pibor municipality here, then to Greater Likwangale, to Gumuruk in Jebel Buma. So this is the coverage of about the vaccine. Yes, I think vaccine has been here for almost 1 week. It just come to be launched today because of the logistic issue, where they were still trying to organize other things, because road accessibility is a great challenge that facing the partners as well, the government taking the vaccine to location that I have mentioned before. So that's why the vaccine has been here in Pibor for less than a week now. I think the issue of cases, it has reduced, by the way, in the main health centers like Pibor, but the only remaining challenge is some villages are not reached, as I said earlier, but we are still receiving some cases from far away cattle camp areas.
In March 2025, David Nero, chairperson of the Relief and Rehabilitation Commission in Pibor, said Likwangale County was the worst affected with 91 deaths, following the Pibor town with 22 and Gumuruk County with 8. These figures included those who may have died outside health facilities. Nero expressed concern over the high number of fatalities among children, women, and the elderly persons, stressing that the outbreak is stretching local health centers and systems to the brink. This is iRadio News. The University of Bahr el Ghazal academic staff have partially lifted their strike and are currently administering supplementary exams for over 200 students, citing the government's commitment to paying civil servant salaries timely. Earlier this month, the Academic Staff Associations and Workers' Trade Union partially lifted the 6-month strike following the disbursement of their March 2025 salaries, and after Vice President for Economic Cluster Dr. Benjamin Boltmel promised to ensure civil servants are paid on the 24th of each month. In a remark to reporters in WOW, the university's teaching staff chairperson, Joseph Lual Dario, confirmed that the exams had resumed due to the positive development regarding staff salaries. Dario also emphasized that the government of South Sudan must honor its premises and promising path by ensuring timely salary payments moving forward.
And the chairman of Economic Cluster promised to pay the salaries on 24th of every month, and we have received, before 2 weeks, we have received the month of March 2025. Due to those promises, we have lifted the strike partially, and that's why now, today, we have allowed the student to have their supplementary and substitute examination, and the examination has kicked off successfully this morning. And we are also seeing that the administration, especially in South Sudan, the government of South Sudan should fulfill the promises. He has mentioned that on every 24th of every month we are going to receive the salary. So therefore, this strike is lifted partially, and we will also see If the government is not fulfilling the promise, then we will also have another alternative whereby we will also resume the strike at any time.
Speaking at campus on Monday, the university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dr. Bernardo Enio Bernardo Ochi, assured the public that the supplementary and substitute examinations were proceeding smoothly. Dr. Ochi also said that classes for first-year students will begin on April 25th, while lectures for senior students are scheduled to start in June. He noted that approximately 4,000 students are enrolled and 50% of them are currently taking the exams.
في الحقيقة إن الدراسة بدأت في جامعة فارغزال، استأنفت وذلك بإجراء امتحانات الملاحق والبدائل الملاحق والبدائل. هذه الامتحانات وكل الأنشطة الامتحانية بتجري بالسلامة بلا القدم والساق. كل المراقبين كل الطلبة في حضور هذه الامتحانات، وستمتد لمدة أسبوعين على حسب الكالندر، ومنها وبعد ذلك هيتم بدأ تسجيل سنة أولى للعام الدراسي 25-26، والفصول senior classes will begin in June by God's will. طبعا طلابنا تقريبا بيصل حوالي 4000. يقال أن نسبة أكثر من 50% عندهم ملاحق والبدائل.
This is iRadio News. The National Examination Council is holding its 20th ordinary meeting in Juba as it prepares to announce the result of the 2024 Certificate of Primary Education Examinations. The meeting, being held under the theme Toward Educational Efficiency Through Technological Innovations, is expected to conclude with the announcement of a date for the release of 2024 Certificate of Primary Education Examination results. The marking and processing of the 2024 nationwide primary and secondary examinations, which saw over 79,000 candidates, including 43,275 males and 35,735 female seats, have been delayed due to a lack of marking budget. The candidates have been eagerly waiting for over 4 months to see the results and enroll in the next level of education. On Friday, Education Minister Dr. Kuyok Abol Kuyok briefed President Kiir on the marking processes. He reportedly told the head of the state that his administration had finished the certificate of primary exams marking and processing of the result. This comes more than a month after the National Examination Council announced that it had started the examinations marking upon receiving 2 billion South Sudanese pounds. The amount accounted for only 28% of the required 7 billion pounds budget from the Finance Ministry. It's not clear if the remaining budget has been cleared. However, the ministry is today deliberating on the matter before announcing the date for the results announcements. This is iRadio News. Meanwhile, this is breaking news. The National Examination Council has announced the 2024 Certificate of Primary School with the top 2 students same marks from Juba Christian Center, JCC Primary School in Juba. The number of 1 student have been Ahmed S. Felix Luwala Wani with a total marks of 453, sharing the same marks as his schoolmate Moses Jerry Ochira. JCC is ranked as the best school countrywide. Minister Dr. Kuyo Abol Kuyok announced the results. This is iRadio News.
So the top student was Flex Lowela Wani Jube from JCC Hall Negal Primary School. he obtained 453 marks. Number 2 was Moses Jere Achere Ochaya, again from JCC Model Primary School. He also obtained, he joined top 1, 453. Number 3 was Ador Moses, our coach, Mayuat, from River Baptist Nursery and Primary School, Southern Equatoria State, 452. Number 4, Anthony Jubek Emmanuel Lado, JCC Model Primary School, Southern Equatoria State, 451. Again, Gifty, this is the first female, Gifty Chandaya Rimes Alori, JCC Model Primary School, Central Equatoria State, 451.
This is Abridged News, and now we're joined by Baria Johnson's Force, International News.
A high-level international conference is underway in London to find a pathway of peace in Sudan, hosted by the UK's Foreign Secretary David Lammy. Sudan's civil war began exactly 2 years ago, causing what aid agencies call the World War's humanitarian crisis. The UK is promising an extra $120 million worth of food and medical assistance. Charities say 30 million people, many who are facing hunger, desperately need humanitarian aid. Elsewhere, France's foreign minister has said Algeria has asked 12 of his country's embassy staff to leave the country within 48 hours. Jean-Noel Baroud added that it was linked to the indictment of 3 Algerians in France on Friday, one of whom was a consular official. They are accused of involvement in the abduction last year of Amir Bahrous, 41 years old, an outspoken critic of Algeria's government, with an audience of more than 1 million people online. And finally, more than 1,000 people have been left with respiratory problems after a sandstorm swept across Iraq's central and southern parts of the country, health officials said. One official in Muthanna province reported to the AFP news agency at least 700 cases of what they said was suffocation. Footage shared online showed areas cloaked in a thick orange haze, with local media reporting power cuts and the suspension of flights in the number of regions. That's all from the stories making headlines in the region and beyond. Thank you for listening.
And now to the sport news.
In South Sudan Premier League action, Holy Family surged into third place with an emphatic 5-0 victory over Al Hilal Wow in week 17. The win takes Holy Family's points tally to 38, trailing second place Jammus, who still have 3 games in hand. Al Hilal Wow remains in 9th position with 19 points. Meanwhile, Olympic rank in 10th place closed the gap with Al Hilal to just 5 points. They secured a narrow 1-0 win over Lion Hunter thanks to a second-half goal, bringing their total to 14 points. Today, title hopeful Jammus will take on 7th place Koryombor as they aim to reclaim the top spot. Their next big test will be against current league leaders Qatar Al Marif Bentiu. Elsewhere, Barcelona head coach Hansi Flick is expected to rotate his starting 11 ahead of Tuesday's UEFA Champions League quarter-final second leg clash against Borussia Dortmund. The Spanish Giants head into the tie with a commanding 4-0 advantage from the first leg at the Estadio Luis Companys. Meanwhile, Paris Saint-Germain manager Luis Enrique has exuded confidence ahead of their own quarter-final second leg showdown against English side Aston Villa. Speaking ahead of the fixture, Enrique expressed full faith in his team's ability to deliver as PSG look to book their place in the last 4. And finally, Los Angeles Lakers star Luka Doncic has become the first non-American player to top the list of the NBA's most popular jerseys. The 26-year-old Slovenian, who joined the Lakers in February from the Dallas Mavericks in a huge 3-way trade deal, is the first player other than Golden State Warriors star Stephen Curry or LeBron James of the Lakers to top the list since the 2012-2013 regular season. The 5-time All-Star was described as a one-of-a-kind young global superstar by the Lakers when he made his move. Curry is second on the list, and James III, with Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics and Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks rounding out the top 5. That's all from the world of sport.
And that was Akile with a sport update. And now to end this bulletin, let's have the news recaps on the top stories. The Embassy of South Sudan in Washington, D.C. has cautioned South Sudanese there against unnecessary travels as the United States government has not revoked its decision to revoke visas for South Sudanese passport holders. The SPLM-IO says its members fled Juba due to fear of persecutions and crackdown by security organs, adding that they did not work out of the unity government. And health authorities in the Pibod administrative area have today launched an oral cholera vaccination campaign following a week-long delay due to logistical challenges. That's the end of iRadio News. If there's a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also a WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page at iRadio. Subscribe to your YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at 1:30. I am Darlington Moses. Thanks for listening and enjoy your day.
Sounds of the week on iRadio.
أنا داير أشرح بحاجة مهم لأخواني كبار مسؤولين بتاعنا كاتن وزير التجارة كده لما التجار ديل كان ماليين ولا كان وطنيين وأكلوا كل سير صباح سير مسا سير المهم تاكل كل يوم بيزيدوها السكر بيزيدوها أي حاجة كله بيزيدوا